Hello, my name is Raymond and I am from Sector Technologies. In this video, I would like to explain to you the difference of establishing communication between a microcontroller and the Wi-Fi module using UART communication protocol and using Vavanio. So first of all, we would like to show you the schematic of the commonly used one that's usually used to establish the communication between the microcontroller and the Wi-Fi module. So other than the microcontroller and the Wi-Fi module itself, you usually need two jumper wires to be able to establish the connection between the microcontroller and the Wi-Fi module. And now you can see here the coding for each the microcontroller and the Wi-Fi module. For the master or the Wi-Fi module, you can see here that first you need to set up the serial, and don't forget you need to set up the serial for 9000 at 600 baud rates. Make sure that the baud rate for each the Wi-Fi module and the microcontroller is at the same baud rate. And in this part of the coding, you can see that the serial pin is set at hello world, which means that this particular string will be sent continuously to the slave or the microcontroller. And in this part of the coding or the microcontroller part, you can see here that in the loop section, this is the part where it receives and prints out the data that has been sent from the master or the Wi-Fi module repeatedly, as long as the master keeps sending data over to the microcontroller. Okay, now that we're done with the coding, we need to upload each coding to the respective boards and modules. Make sure that for the ESP8266 is set at the correct port, and then also do that for the microcontroller. And now that we're done selecting the correct ports for each board and module, we need to upload them. And now that we're done uploading, we should wire the two microcontroller and the module together according to the schematic that we have shown around the beginning of the video. So now that we're done with the wiring, let's see the results. So first, we can see the serial monitor of the ESP8266, the data that is being sent, which is hello world, is exactly like the one we put in the code. And now let's take a look at the serial monitor of the microcontroller. As you can see, the data is not receiving the same data that is being sent. Well, actually it's the same result, but it's not being read properly. That is because, as you can see in this part, the code is set on serial read. Serial read means that the data is being read as ASCII or ASCII. To fix this problem, first we need to create a variable. So you can see here, the variable is set as char or character. You can set the name as anything you want. In this case, we'll name the variable as data. So that variable will contain serial read, which reads the data that is being sent from the ESP8266. That data will be converted into character or char, and then it will be printed out in the serial print. So now that we're done, don't forget to disconnect the RX and the TX on the microcontroller, and then we upload the data. Okay, so now that we're done with uploading the new code, Let's first check on the serial monitor on the ESP8266. Okay, so far so good. And now let's recheck on the serial monitor on the Arduino or the microcontroller. So now you can see here the data that is being received is exactly the same as the one that is being sent, which is in character. Okay, now so we're moving on to using the Vavanio development board. The first thing you might notice is that using the Vavanio development board, it just looks much cleaner, and we don't have any jumper wires sticking out of the microcontroller. That's because the connection between the microcontroller and the Wi-Fi module is replaced with this single switch right here. So to establish the connection, you just need to use this switch right here, as you can see. And now the microcontroller and the ESP is currently connected. So now we need to upload the code to the Vavanio development board. First, make sure that the ports are connected correctly, and then just upload. Now that we are done with uploading the code, let's see the results. So it seems that the ESP is sending out data just fine. And now let's take a look at the microcontroller. You can see here that the microcontroller isn't receiving any data. That's because the switch on the Vavanio development board isn't turned on yet. So to do it, you just need to turn on this switch. And now you can see that the microcontroller is now receiving data from the ESP8266. So we hope that from this video you can see that using the Vavanio development board, the process is much easier and also much more simple than doing so using two different microcontroller and Wi-Fi modules separately. So that's for this video, and we hope to see you again in the future.